are listening to WHOA Podcast, coming to you from Gainesville, Florida. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the WHOA GNV Podcast, the podcast bringing you businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa. Nice. That's really good. I can't even see anybody's mouth with these masks. This is great. Shout out to Sarah Lentz on the masks. You guys were recording with masks on right now. She did not make the Florida State Seminoles one. Do not be confused. That is Steven's mask. These are our masks, but Sarah made our masks. Check this out. Isn't this super cool? Shout out.
Can
Sarah.
you make me a Seminole?
No, she would never. You would never. Sarah, would you?
I would.
You would?
She has a big heart.
She has a big heart. Let's not do that, Sarah. Let's not do that. But check these out. It's super cool. Thanks, Sarah, for the mask. Hey, you guys, before we get into the episode, let's talk quickly about how the coronavirus has impacted your business. Maybe you've realized that you need a different kind of office space, or you have questions about your lease options, or maybe you've been thinking about buying or selling a commercial property, but you're not sure when to act. Call the GNV Commercial Advisors team at Colliers International. They have the expertise and local experience to help you make the right decision for your commercial real estate needs. Check out their services at colliers.com/Gainesville, baby.
See their signs everywhere.
Yeah, it's not /Gainesville, baby. It's just /Gainesville. I added the baby part just so y'all know, but yeah. But it's just mad love to those guys, GNV Commercial Advisors over at Colliers International, just big supporters of ours, and we're super, super grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show. Are you ready to get into the show, Michael Dees?
I'm so excited.
You guys, today on the show, we have Steven Camps, founder and CEO of ProCare Janitorial Services since 1987.
Yes.
That's 33 years, y'all.
Yep.
Dude, that's amazing. Congratulations, 33 years. That's
you.
incredible. So, Steven, what we like to do, we like to dive in and hear your story. Thank you for coming and joining us today. Okay. I know, just so you guys know, he's muscling through to be here with us today because you had injured your back a little bit today?
Actually, that's part of my story with my business.
Okay. All right.
I was rear-ended by a drunk driver 33 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the story. Let's hear it, and just share with us how you've gotten into this business and how you've been doing this for 33 years. I'm excited to hear about it.
Well, first of all, my father did it for 52 years, and he took care of the Gainesville Sun New York Times company here for since inception, when the New York Times purchased the company from the Pepper family years ago. But nevertheless, going to college, I quite naturally worked with my father in the cleaning business, so I got all that experience for years and years. Of course, when I said I finished school, I would never be in the cleaning business. Of course, when you work for your father, you don't get exactly paid for the work you do, but you do it anyway. They say it pays for groceries. You know that story. But anyway, unfortunately, I had a drunk driver rear-end me, and it was 2 weeks before I was about to get married, and I was disabled. I was in the hospital, and they said I would never walk again. Of course, now you see me, I'm a walking miracle. As long as I just stay fit and don't move crazy, I'm pretty healthy. And of course, the work that I'm in is hard work. And I work with my crew and specialize what I do. But anyway, I was in the hospital for a while, and it took me about a year to recover.
Dang.
But my wife and my first cousin took care of the business for me for a year. I started the business because I needed to make some money. I had all these bills, just getting married, and I needed to make something happen. So I started the cleaning business from a hospital bed, and here it is 33 years later. I've gracefully paid my wife and my cousin back, but ProCare is very successful. It's hard work, and now I really enjoy it because it gives me total freedom to do what I want to do and set my schedule. So,
was there any particular reason why, cleaning, why janitorial stuff when that was happening?
Well, because it was something that I knew from what I did for my father.
Okay.
So
that was the main pull.
Yeah, and I managed his crew at the Gainesville Sun for years.
Okay.
So
it was just that.
It's just a matter of being able to kind of do it from home.
Okay.
Like we have to work now. But I was doing it from a hospital bed. But
so what are like the services that you guys specialize in? Because I know like so everybody who's listening, Steven does our floors here at the shop. I mean, they come in. It's like, let's be honest, it's like an experiment every time we have to get this done, because mainly for our side, because there's a lot of logistics, because one, we're trying to get it done on the weekend, we're trying to move furniture and scooters and make sure that the floor is clear, and you guys come in and do a phenomenal job. We come back on Monday and it's like, oh man, everything's brand new again. It's amazing.
It's not that easy though.
I know, and you're spending like the entire weekend here, right?
Yep.
I mean, talk to me a little bit about about that. Like, do you guys do specifically like the flooring stuff, or is it a little bit of everything? Or
actually, my company is probably the only full service company in Gainesville that offers commercial, industrial, residential, and construction. Right now, I think I'm the only company in town that's certified by ISSA, which is a worldwide cleaning institution. And it's a tough criteria to even, acquire that, accreditation. It took about 5 years, and making sure you do straight up business and, perfect customer service record and, all those logistics that come with running a business. And we were able to, I attended the first ever National Cleaning Association. And I never knew that they, that was something that they ever did. But anyway, now that I've been a member of the association, it's opened me up to so many different things. Now with that accreditation, there's people that will not shop Google or whatever. If you have that accreditation, we're listed in a catalog or online, and they call only members that have that accreditation, because you don't worry about insurance, qualifications, whatever. I mean, you've got to be, top notch to be able to just be a member. But now with COVID-19, I've taken it a little bit further, because now they have established what they call the Global Bio Research Association that deals with global pandemics like we're in today. So the 27th of this month, I actually received the certification. Now my company is, able to train, treat, reopen companies. If you have an infection, we can get you open in 24 hours. That's state certified. And now we're in the process of labeling buildings that we service so that we can say that, hey, it's safe to walk in this building.
Yeah.
So
did COVID lead to a spike in business for you?
Wow, I can't even begin to tell you. It totally changed my industry.
Really?
Because
in what ways?
Well, you see, first of all, I come in here tonight with my bottle. I never go anywhere without disinfecting my surroundings. So while you were out, I was disinfecting your studio here tonight. So we're safe here in the studio. But because we clean so many different, what you call high potential, or actually what you call most vulnerable situations, patients, dialysis patients, there's so many different medical facilities, and these people, already have, in one place it's infectious disease, and these people already have open wounds. So can you imagine the level of cleaning we have to do to protect people like that? And so my people, my staff, we have to protect ourselves when we're away from the servicing those particular contracts. So we have to, if I'm not working, we stay at home. We purchase groceries. My wife has MS, as a matter of fact, so she's extremely high risk. So, but you have to take it very serious. I've lost several family members, and of course, unfortunately, it's really affecting the African American community more so than, and it's just. But it now, what's even more frightening is they want to open up the schools, and now there's so many kids that are being infected, and they thought, they couldn't be affected. Their immune systems are much higher, but no one's exempt. No one.
Yeah, it's it's been such a I don't even know how to describe it except to use the word strange, right? It's been such a strange year.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to determine, what's the right move, what's not the right move. I can tell you, businesses like ours live and die by the students, right? And so it's like, man, we really need these students here. We really need them going to school. Obviously, UF, I feel like they know that, right? And they know the impact that those students have on the local economy. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want to keep everybody safe and make sure that everybody's, being just that, really just being safe and, and I don't know, it's super difficult. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I come into work, we got our entire team, masked up. We're trying to completely pivot and change the way we've done things for the last 16 years, which is, what I refer to as organized chaos. Everybody showing up on the same weekend and picking up their scooter from storage, people dropping off their scooter for service, and 50 people buying a new scooter, and it's just you got all these different elements moving all at one time, and it's just we looked at each other and we're like, man, we can't do that this year.
Yeah.
Right, we're not gonna be able to have all these people in the building. We're not gonna be able to do the celebrations that we're used to doing when somebody buys a new scooter and giving hugs and high fives, and it's just so
contact.
strange. Yeah, it's just strange. I don't know how to say it except it's just strange, and everybody's kind of adjusting in their own ways, and I think we very much have as well, but. You have any thoughts on that stuff?
No, I mean, even with the podcast, it's been like that too. I mean, we did the coronavirus sessions via Zoom because it was at a time where we were really unsure what proximity we could be in. Is it safe to come into a studio and record? Whether or not we feel comfortable with it, or our guests feel comfortable with it, our staff feels comfortable with it. So we had to make pivots there too, and it's just been, it's been challenging. I think everybody's gone through those challenges, and it's the professional side of things, and your personal life gets challenged too. Your routines that you've developed and the things that you rely on to keep you sane and healthy and motivated and on track. Those things kind of had a wrench thrown in it too. So
yeah, but we're tough. We're resilient.
We are.
You just have to continue to live, breathe, and enjoy life the best you can. And it kind of gave everyone a chance to kind of pause and kind of reset, because to me, life was moving really fast.
Yeah, that's so
and
true.
And I'm a strong Christian believer that, ultimately the good master is in control. So don't mean to offend anybody that doesn't believe that. But everyone to each his own, but that's just me.
Everybody who's listened to the show knows that I am as well. So.
Okay.
Going towards, let's talk about the new normal, right? So what is for you and your business? Let's just say pandemic is over tomorrow, which we all know is not, but let's just say it is, right? What sticks for you and your company from this entire thing, or just in your life? What's
You mean in terms of just feeling comfortable with it?
Just what changes, whatever changes you've made through this time, whether it's life changes or business changes, what were those changes that are going to stick once this COVID thing is no more? We're not walking around wearing masks. We're not, that kind of stuff.
One of the big things is that one of the positive things that has come out from this whole ordeal is people are being much cleaner. They're being more concerned with what they touch and washing their hands. And to me, that's a good thing. We needed that anyway. Actually, when the AIDS virus came out, At that point, I never went to the gas station and just picked up the nozzle and just started pumping gas. At that point, I was sort of in the coronavirus pandemic atmosphere, what we're going through right now, when the HIV virus came out, me being in the cleaning business and, knowing that it can live on surfaces. Well, this product here that I have, once I found this is a neutral cleaner, and it is a disinfectant. It's all natural, and it will kill corona in 15 minutes once it sits on the surface. But you can't drink it.
Right.
But the thing is, knowing that there is, this product here, and of course most disinfectant, I'm not trying to pump a product, but, and I didn't call any names anyway, but disinfecting is the main key, and that's going to be the new norm. Disinfect, wash hands. Hopefully we can get away from the mask, but it's going to take a combined effort for all of us. I hate to see the country shut down again because we are all affected. But I hate to see us shut down again, but it may take just shutting down for, 15, 20 days or just a good month and really just stop and disinfect and clean and then slowly open up properly. But that's going to be the only way we get through this unless, we get what am I trying to say? A vaccine, and that's I think that's going to be the new norm. But what's frightening is that there's new viruses coming that's worse than corona.
Right.
So, I think this is going to be the new norm from this point on. So I really think this is just phase one.
I'm kind of curious as to whether or not, so you're seeing this, oh man, everybody's being a lot cleaner now. I mean, does it just bother you that people weren't being that clean to begin with?
Yes, it does. In my business, it's crazy.
You're like, man, just wash your hands once in a while. I mean, what are you thinking normally,
I washed hands all before. I disinfected all before because, it seems as though I would just get sick all the time. And actually, when you're sick, most times, it's coming from some kind of germ. Your surroundings aren't clean. And what has happened is it's made it to the inside of your mouth, and that's what corona is. It's either your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and actually with some recent research, you can get it when you have an open wound. So you should cover a regular cut, just from it being exposed to the atmosphere. So
what, corona? I thought it was all...
No. Well, it has to get inside
Mike,
the
I need
body
your scientific expertise.
Hey, it changes every day. He just said it was new research.
I tell you
new
what.
Research is new? I haven't heard this.
I wish I would have brought it with me tonight, but it's from ISSA. Mm-hmm. You can look it up. ISSA, the driven.
Which Twitter
innovation.
handle did you hear this from?
I'm going to fax you my. Actually, just like we have to clean our homes to maintain some level of cleanliness of our home, we're just going to have to step it up a notch and not just do it at home. We got to do it everywhere.
Yeah.
And not only that, we got to think about the person that's coming behind us. Just don't stop to the gas station and, someone else got to come behind you, so just be cautious of that stuff.
So what are some easy tips that we could be adopting that might have a big reach? Like what do you recommend? Because I think a lot of people just maybe don't know how or what methods or what products to use or where the high traffic areas to focus on might be.
I stress washing hands. I stress taking shoes off before you go in the house. I myself, whenever I'm out, when I go home, I put my laundry. I used to keep it in the bathroom. It's in the garage now. So when I let the garage down, I take off all of my clothing and I go straight and shower. It can be transferred through the hair. So as soon as you come in the house, you should just shower really well, and that therefore you're protecting your family from the viruses. I bought racks for my garage, so every pair of shoes is in the garage. We never wear shoes in the house. Even when my guests come, I'm sorry, I'll give you some footies, but you can't come in my house with shoes. That was even before Corona. It's just because you...
Hold on, but would you say, has the business in general made you kind of a germaphobe?
No, because my mother made me a germaphobe.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious, like, is the industry like tied to that thing? You know all the ins and outs of the stuff that a lot of people probably just really don't know or don't care about. And
as a kid, my mother would send us, there was 9 of us, and we would have to go to the refrigerator to get her a glass of water. If you held your hand this high up on the glass, you had to take it back to the kitchen, wash it, and then refill it with water, and you bring it back with your hand at the bottom of it. Best way to put a paper towel around it. And when she finished drinking, you had to take that glass and put a paper towel over it and put it in the refrigerator. She would never drink after anyone. The house, everything was clean every day. So,
it's super interesting to me. I mean, just to be like clear for everybody who's like listening, like I've been known to be kind of a germaphobe myself. So that's why I'm like,
there's nothing wrong with it. Today, it keeps you alive. So,
let me shift gears just a little bit. I mean, you've been doing this for 33 years.
33 years.
That's a long time.
Yep.
And what would you say is the single biggest lesson that you've learned in business over 33 years?
Money management. Learning cash flow. Learning how to make the cash and hold enough back to pay the bills and your employees. And
it's time to take out my recycling. We don't usually record on Monday night.
Cash flow.
Yep, cash flow, money management.
So in those 33 years, when would you say that you had that nailed down?
Probably year 6.
Year 6.
Yep. When I thought I didn't want to be in business anymore because I had more debt than money coming in. It was like. Do you
remember how much debt you had?
Probably at that time, maybe 33 years ago, $60,000 was a lot of money. And it kept climbing, probably close to $100,000. And
do you remember why you needed that debt?
Well, one is in my business, you need lots of equipment. And because I do construction, industrial, all of the different phases, you need even more equipment. You need even more training for the employees. And so, either you can lease it, which I did for a while, but that never stops. So one day you just got to bite the bullet, purchase it, and then, 2 or 3 years, it started to pay for itself. And I'm going to say today we don't have that kind of debt. We don't have debt. So we're enjoying it.
I mean, it's... I think that's a great lesson, is cash flow, for sure. That's still one that I'm still trying to get my hands around, even to this day.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting.
Hopefully it doesn't take you 33 years. You're halfway there.
Hopefully not. Halfway there. Like, let's hope it doesn't take that long. No, I mean, I definitely understand. Like, I definitely got my grasp on the importance of it. I still think it's difficult, It's funny. And, like, a lot of people have made me feel... better about the fact that we've accumulated so much debt, because I was always like, there was phases of business, right? You were in like a growth mode, like whether it's equipment, you need equipment, like we were in a growth mode, and it was like, okay, we need people, and we need this, and we need additional inventory, we need whatever the case might be. So and that's a good thing, that you never know when you're gonna need what you need to, produce the quality that you need. So you have to make that investment in whatever you need. And when you have it, it's a stress relief for me, knowing that, hey, I can just go ahead and handle it at any time. But
the wonderful world of business, COVID now
Yeah.
has changed things. You know, you wonder now, are you going to pay for or have money to just, you know, operate now? So, but I learned that year number 9 is just to spend as less as possible, purchase the necessities, and hold back on the toys.
So, I mean, being in business for 33 years, I mean, you know, I'm looking back over my entrepreneurial career, which Mike just said is 16. I can't remember a challenge as big as COVID in my 16 years. Has there been one for you over 33 that you can remember that has had such a significant impact?
Well, I think because of the initial impact from my disability starting the business, I mean, how much more devastating can you be?
That's the biggest. That's been the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's just a matter at that point is just to, you know, I was thrilled to just be able to physically be able to run the business and be on my feet.
So how did you get your mindset right? Right? Like, I feel like a lot of people in those types of circumstances, I mean, just to be real, like a lot of people would be feeling sorry for themselves. Right?
You can't do
like
that.
They're like, this happened to me, and you know, like, how did you like approach it and say, okay, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can just kind of go back to that time, the initial things that you were thinking, you know, just as a human, not even as a business owner.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's where my Christian beliefs and my father being a minister, and of course, you know, you go to church on Sunday and you get that good word every Sunday, whether you want it or not. And with me being a musician at the church, and I'm right there playing the organ, and my father's preaching, so it's not too, you know, I couldn't miss it either way. But I was listening to that, and there are several scriptures that says, "Hey, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you." So when you hear that all the time, it's like, you know, and of course, with my studying the Bible, it makes you feel like Superman within, knowing that there's an ultimate control. So he says, "We have not because we ask not." So I do a lot of asking. I do a lot of tithing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, and giving to the church, of course.
Yeah.
I'm always helping, you know, anyone that I could, but don't call me for help. It has to be some divine intervention, you know, and I'm sort of led to do those things and help where of course, for a while I had to sort of make the biggest impact for the dollar, and I think that's where we kind of met once before, is through United Way, and we became United Way contributors. So I'm sure you remember all those dollars you gave away, but just think of all those people we helped.
So I'm still kind of hung up on this drunk driver thing. I mean, like, I'm just trying to put myself in those shoes, and I hear you, you know, because I'm a faith-based, you know, human as well. Like, I mean, did you just instantly forgive this guy who you know had caused you all this pain?
Actually,
I mean, like, and yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, actually, in life, you always have to forgive everybody that offends you, that hurts you, whatever they do, because until you forgive them, they still have the power over you. So once you forgive them, then you can forget it. And one thing that my father always taught me, there's nothing you can do to go back and change whatever happened 5 minutes ago. So why stress it? Why worry about it? There's nothing you can do to change it. Move forward. And that's my thing. I deal with every situation, good or bad. I know that I stay focused because I have this hope, this higher authority that know that one day, you know, this is going to all be over and we're all be happy. But every day I try to live as if it's the last day of my life, and I never carry anything from yesterday to tomorrow, which is not even promised to us. So we don't have those controls, so why can we worry? Why should you worry about something that you cannot control? So it doesn't matter what happens to you and how devastating it was, if you can just keep putting one foot in front of the other, I think if you could just keep moving. As my wife says, with her having MS, she was completely disabled. She's a walking miracle. And now she can jog. She can, she looks like a normal person, but it's only so much she can do. But she's not in a wheelchair anymore, and she eats good. And hey, and I think the part of me with that kind of self-motivation, I can do it. And I taught my daughter that. And so when she was riding the bicycle, I'll never forget, she said, Dad, I can't do it. And I was like, you can do it. And so now she's, like I said, in her 3rd year of med school. And I call her up every now and then, or I text her, you can do it. And that little push sometimes just keeps her motivated and keep moving forward. So,
yeah. It's good, man. Got anything?
No, I'm just seeing how you're taking.
I mean, how you looking at me to see. I think.
I don't want to drag your show down.
No. It's funny. This is the stuff that I like, because when we, people always tell me oh, what do I need to do to prepare for your podcast? And I'm like, dude, just come and I'm gonna start with your story, and believe me, there's gonna be something that you say that triggers a conversation, triggers I'm like, if it makes me curious, the chances of it making our audience pretty curious is high, right? And I think I'm hearing what you're saying. And I come from a very similar place. And if I'm being super real with you right now, I'm usually the super positive guy. I'm the guy who is on social media all the time, encouraging and building up other people. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, dude, I've been in a super low place. If people really were paying attention, you haven't seen very many Instagram stories from me. You haven't seen very many Snapchat stories from me. You've seen very little social media posts in general. It's because I've been at an all-time low.
Wow.
And this COVID thing has really impacted me mentally. It's impacted. I'm just exhausted. I'm I don't even know any other way to explain it except that I'm just exhausted. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of the impact of it. I'm tired of not knowing, not being able to appropriately plan like I normally plan. Mm-hmm. We're here. We are. We're I feel like we're putting so much pressure and strain on our team, and I'm super proud of our team. Our team has definitely been figuring out the new way, right? Okay, we're gonna set appointments. We're gonna come up with a new way of doing business, and I love that. And I think it's gonna change us for the better. But man, I'm still I know the pressures of back to school.
Yeah.
Right. And here I am. I'm going to bed every night praying, please, Lord, do not let any team member get sick. If we have one team member get sick, the whole team is really gonna suffer. The whole team, because we have limited help. We normally have 20 to 25 people on staff. We have 10.
Yeah. 9. Yeah.
We have 9. Wow. Right? So it's required all these adjustments, and a lot of it was because, okay, I didn't want to go and hire the normal amount of people and then find out that school's not starting. Mm-hmm. It's been is school starting? Is school not starting? There's been all these different things, and dude, not being able to plan because we don't know what's around the corner, not even a week from now. Mm-hmm. We could make all these changes, we could do all these things, and then find out, there's been a huge spike. Everybody stay home, nobody leave the building. And that's just the reality. So I'm super fascinated really by the mindset of people, right? When those types of circumstances happen, what are you telling yourself through those trials? Because I'm in the same place spiritually. I've been in my Bible. I'm praying, trying to really grasp, and I'm reading the same scriptures. Don't worry about, hey, Jesus took it. God took care of the birds. What makes you think that he's not going to take care of you, right? I'm reading all these scriptures.
You see, I got it.
And I've got the right people in my life that are like putting this stuff, on me. But man, I'm just being real. Like, I feel like I'm probably where a lot of people are right now, which is like, man, this has been the crappiest year of my entire life.
Collin, think about it. As I said before, the world was moving so fast. People pass you. No one has time to stop to the red lights. They blow you off the road if you stop or slow up a minute. Everyone is just seems, but I think it's kind of the Lord giving us a lesson in patience too. Just kind of slow down and breathe. But one thing that I have done is, I have utilized all of this extra time to do things at home. I always wanted to do my deck. I did my deck. I always wanted to do things in the yard, which I did. Painting projects. I have found things to do with my time. And actually now I'm so tired and I'm so busy with COVID doing everything else now. I just want time to rest a little bit now. So, with me, my business is really picked up because we have to protect people like yourself. And you mentioned something else that I wanted to touch on too, is feeling comfortable here at work, working amongst each other. And with you being a regular client, I have some chemicals that I want to give you.
Cool.
And for you guys to wipe down the doors, and that's what's going to keep you all safe. Clean the bathrooms with it, mop the floors with it. And 1 gallon, 1 ounce will make 12 gallons. So it'll last you a long time, and that's what you need. And actually, that gives you a sense of comfort, which you should do at home too, and it wouldn't hurt to, make a bottle like I have and give it to the employees so that they can, take care of their places at home. And that's what really make you feel comfortable, because at my house, I spray everything down and disinfect it. And when you do that, you'll feel safe.
I don't know. I mean, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't say that team members are coming into work feeling unsafe or feeling like things aren't sanitary enough or that we're not doing a good enough job. I feel like it's more of the strain of, the fact that we have this business to run and we're like nervous that somebody might call out sick or somebody might, maybe that's just me. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think that you're right. I think some of that's plausible deniability. It's if I haven't gotten sick yet, then I must be doing everything right. But are you really? I mean, we have a huge space here, right? And we've put a lot of new standards in place for how to get it sanitized and stuff like that. And we've been fortunate that we haven't had any positive cases here at the dealership or anything like that. But I think that sometimes that's a little bit of a false sense of security, where you feel like just because you're doing it or you haven't, we're how many months in and you haven't had any issues yet that you're doing everything right, and is that really the case? So, do I think that people are coming in here worried? No. Should we every day refocus on making sure we're doing the right things?
Yes.
Yeah, because we need to. So it's just kind of. It's all sobering because, as business leaders, you want to focus all your time on the business, on the things that make money, the things that make the impact. And it doesn't matter whether it's the unenviable sides of business, whether you're dealing with insurance or you're dealing with whatever the things that you don't want to deal with are. This is kind of one of those things you don't want to deal with.
Right. That's a great way of putting it.
but it's necessary because if you don't deal with it, you don't have a business to worry about.
You're exactly right.
So. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the case with a lot of things, right? It's always something external that affects business, that affects life, right?
You never know what'll happen the next day, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and I hate to even get on the show and because I feel like when I start going off on one of those rants, if you will, I feel like I'm just complaining, and my intent is not to get on here and complain. It's like. It's just like, dude, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted from it. I'm tired. I'm burnt. We talk about burnout a lot. Yeah. I know, and I'm so afraid for that to even show on my face, right? Because I'm afraid that if burnout shows on my face, then it's gonna start bleeding into everybody else, and so I've been doing everything that I can to keep my face, keep real, keep positive, keep the energy flowing, especially as we head into our busiest time, which is now, right? So it's like, oh man, I think to your story and your faith, that's why it's admirable, because I think a lot of that is the toxicity of unforgiveness. Is we want to pull the woe is me. I'd rather be working on this. I'd rather be focused on my business. I wish I wasn't dealing with that. But if we adapted more of a mindset of God is in control, we just got to move forward, let go and focus on what you can, instead of worrying about the fact that you've got to deal with this.
That's it.
Then that mindset will kind of help alleviate some of that burnout and worry, right?
Exactly right. You're exactly right. But hey, you just keep moving forward. Go fishing, go walking, go hiking.
In September. Which actually we are in September now, but
I need more of that.
Early in the morning, of course.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's definitely one of those lessons that I don't know. I would just say, like, I'm super encouraged to. If there is something, let me just take a step back and completely rephrase. This is the one thing that I've pointed to this entire year, is the fact that we're all going through this together.
Yeah.
Normally there's a lot of life circumstances. There's things that happen. People have deaths in their families. They have a lot of these things like huge impactful events, right? But it's usually like within their circle.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I can really remember personally where we're all in this together, and not only on like a local or national scale, but a global scale,
exactly right?
And so that's been kind of interesting. The thing that I've heard people point to the most, and that has had a similar impact, but more on a national scale, was 9/11, right? It was like when that event happened, everybody kind of coming together. There's a lot of like a community. We're all in this together.
That was a real coming together.
Yeah. I mean, it was very much, one of those times. So I don't know, man. I'm just ready for it to move along. See you later, COVID, please, whenever you're ready.
I tell you what was disappointing is to watch the news today, and I don't know if they've made the decision or whether we're going to have a football season or not. So now that would be a little depressing.
Well, I mean, real quick, you got us all onto faith talk and stuff, right? I mean, do you really think that God's a Florida State fan? Let's just be real, Steven. I mean, come on.
There is a scripture that says, "Judge not, as ye shall be judged."
God made the sky blue and the sun orange.
That's boy, I can't touch that. You're saving that for the end of the show, right?
Oh man, yeah, it's even fun. I mean, just trying to like think through that impact, right? And just look, part of this, when I think of things like football, and I think about events, let's just say events in general, like that's like escapism for a lot of people, right? It's like that opportunity to go and like relax, do something that just brings joy to you, and it's almost like it's just completely been taken away. Right? Like no concerts, no football, no sporting events in general. Like it's all just been kind of taken away, and I think that only further like weighs on people during this time, because it's like, man, like I can't even like watch a football game this weekend. Like I know I'm gonna be in the fall. I'm gonna be going in the fall, like being like, man, like okay, I don't even mind being stuck at my home if I could just like lay out on my couch and watch football all day today. I'd be super happy, and the chances of that not being there
But you're one of the biggest champions of mindset that I've ever known.
I know, which is like the worst. That's why I feel so bad. Like this is like one of those podcasts that'll just randomly end up being deleted one day, Steven. So if it's not there anymore, I apologize. Because
shouldn't it be like, what do I get to do with this time? You know, like
it should be. And I've been super positive in a lot of ways about like the fact that like, hey, I've had more family dinners with my family. Right, and more bike rides, and more, more of these things during this time.
Like how much more can you do it? You know, it's like it's been over and over and over. But
I don't know. I feel like maybe that I'm reaching a point right now where I'm like trying to convince myself. Does that mean like I'm trying to like stay on those positives?
Yeah.
When the truth is, I'm just super drained by all the negatives.
You just have to laugh a little more. You see, a minute ago we were talking about what is that? You came up with the sky being blue.
Keep laughing.
That's what we have to do is laugh and keep entertaining each other and not think about, the situation we're in. We're still above ground. So that's I was about to say just barely with going on, but we're gonna be just fine.
Doing this for 33 years, what would, if you were going to go back 33 years, what's like that one piece of advice you would tell yourself 33 years ago?
That I would have done differently?
Yeah, that you would have done differently, like...
I really trusted some of my people. I really put a little bit too much faith in people that showed some how should I say this without offending it? Not really shady character. It's just that it's just like he's someone you can't trust 100%. It just seemed like there's just something about them you just can't. And then it comes out 15 years later, thousands of dollars that you invested into them, and then
your
boom.
gut was screaming at you all along.
Yeah, all along.
Like a little piece that wasn't right.
Yeah, and then they walk away after 15 years for whatever reason, and then seem like they have a come to Jesus moment, should I say, and they want to come back after a year. What? Now, those are the kind of crazy things I deal with in business that, I really want to choke them. But one thing I never do is we can't get physical with them, right?
Yeah.
I didn't threaten them, did I?
Want to choke them, not actually choke them.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I really wanted to, but no, but I mean, those are the kind of things I've dealt with that, if I could do differently when I get that first mindset to say, hey, this is not worth the investment,
Have you ever had a moment where you're glad you didn't trust your gut?
Good question.
Yeah. Because, I made some decisions that, cost me big time, and, but hey, how do you know?
Right.
But you learn from your mistakes, especially when it costs you a lot of money, but, I must say, just life's moments, is enough, to, have to make decisions about that affects you for the rest of your life, and then you're in charge of a business and in charge of everyone else, but you get to a point to where you just kind of flow with it and stop trying to really do it yourself and just let it flow.
Yeah,
there's no I in team. Although I tried to put it there. Collin was guilty of that too. Did you see it in his?
I mean, definitely when you start throwing it back to like trusting your gut and stuff like that, man. I think it was Chad Paris from Paris Leaf told like this has resonated with me so much. It was like if you trust your gut 100% of the time, it'll be right 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And like that stuck with me a lot. And then I always, it's funny especially when you talk about like, oh man, it cost you a lot of money, right? Like I remember one time specifically where I knew we had this tech on our staff, and I knew that he was the wrong person for our team. And I knew he was the wrong person. I was like, man, like I we need to let this guy go. He's not a right fit. And it was like right before our busy season too, right? It was like maybe June, July, like right before getting to August.
You convince yourself that you're desperate and you need it.
And I knew it was the right decision to let him go, but a couple of my team members, I said, hey, I think we need to think about finding somebody else. And they were like, like I get it, like just try to find somebody else, but like let's keep him on until we find somebody else, kind of thing. Like we're so desperate for help. We really, 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 really need the help. And so I hung on to this guy. He ended up wrecking a customer's scooter and ended up, there was like, he had injured himself. Ambulance came out. Had like a collarbone break or something. I mean, it ended, workers' comp situation ended up being like $100,000 plus. I mean, it was like
real quick though, like this was it an accident or was he being careless?
We'll say that it was an accident. I think that he was being careless because. So
I just want to be clear, like you're not jumping on a guy that got hurt because he was being careful, and accidents do happen and everything like that. This is something that maybe could have been avoided.
So there's no proof, right? There's no proof, but my gut's telling me that because of where he was located when the accident happened, he wasn't where he was supposed to be at the time. He was probably smoking a cigarette while riding and doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. Like, I mean, this was the kind of person that it was, right? And so like I don't have those facts. I don't have a camera that caught it all. I don't have all this stuff, but based off what happened with the thing, like it ended up being a nightmare is what it happened. It ended up being a nightmare. The guy ended up missing the busiest season of the year because of his injury, right? So the whole reason we needed him really was for that busy time of the year, and then he ended up missing the entire time of the year. Ended up coming back in like October. Comes back in October, and there was another incident. I can't even remember. There was another incident that happened, and dude, it was just like, it was a nightmare.
So your real gut was like, if I would have let him go a long time ago when I thought about it.
Of course, I would have saved. I mean, forget thankfully we had the workers' comp that covered his injuries and that kind of thing. But even so, it's like. The headache, right? The amount of headache that I had because I didn't follow what my gut was telling me was enough to teach me that lesson. So listen to your gut, people. Listen to your gut. We got to wrap up in a minute, but Mike, you have any last minute questions, man?
Back to just the cleaning aspect. Do you do mostly like you come to our dealership and you kind of do an upkeep, right? Do you do anything where you go in there and it's just you inherit an absolute disaster and you're tasked with like making it look presentable again, new again, or is that kind of out of the scope of what you do? Or
that's we experience a situation like that when we're dealing with the real estate property, mainly if someone is putting it up for sale. Right now, I have a lake house that's on Santa Fe Lake that it has so much potential, but it has just not been cared for. And so, when we come in and do a full power wash, window cleaning, inside and out, total makeover, it's pretty impressive.
Like, have you ever gone to a job? Like, do you see the job first before you accept it? Or?
98% of the time, yes.
Okay. Because what I'm looking for is like a horror story. Like, have you ever gotten one and been like, no, you need a wrecking ball. I can't help you.
I have come into some places that it was pretty bad, and I've quite naturally I would leave the price open so that we can make adjustments to take care of it. But yes, I've come into some pretty horrible places, and but really, if they'll pay the cost, we'll turn it around. So I enjoy the fact of being able to do like the before and after, because it's just, and that's what we have, that wow effect. Not bragging or anything. Actually, our slogan is simply Gainesville's best since 1987. So
nice.
But we like to do it right. We like to make an impression. That's why Collin keeps calling me back. These floors look so great in here.
Make them shine, baby. Make them shine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and I know it's a little bit out of the scope, but you don't know how many times I talk to so many customers about the investment that you make into this place to keep it looking just totally awesome.
Thanks, man.
And I take pictures and I show this place all the time, so I might owe you $1 or $2 for advertising.
Well, you're a scooter customer now, so don't
Hey, that's right. Hey, I'm a scooter owner.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you for that too. I mean, we definitely take pride. I'm one of those people that really likes to pay attention to details. One of the things that I've always told our team is like, look, when parents walk in here, if they see that this place is spectacularly clean, they see the details of this dealership, then they know that if their daughter breaks down on the side of the road, that we're going to pay just as much detail to making sure that she's okay as we would to this business, right? And to like the details within the dealership. So, I mean, it's that I definitely take pride in what we've accomplished here and making it look so sharp, and the maintenance is definitely a huge piece of that.
Well, one of the interesting things is you never know who's going to come through this building. I mean, we've had national distributors and bankers and CEOs of other companies, this podcast, the people that it attracts, and you never really know who's going to come through that door. But we've had people that tour dealerships. That's their job. They're RSMs, they're regional managers or whatever, and they come into the dealership and the first time they've been here and they say, "Holy cow!" and that's to your emphasis on detail and ours, the type of ship that we run, but also thanks to you for helping us keep it look like that. So.
Well, actually, when my crew comes in here, they can't believe that you make the investment into a scooter shop floor. Where there's grease and all of this, and now you can just about go out there and eat off of that floor. I mean, it's immaculate. And
we like to make people go, whoa.
It's been a while since we did it, and it still looks great too.
We've had about a month. Yeah, about a month, I think.
A month ago, right?
Couple of months, isn't it?
How long have you had the scooter?
I can't remember.
Totally off subject.
That was a little bit of a barter, but
I just remember going to the beach home one weekend with the scooter. So to me, I had it a week.
There you go.
I drove it, and I haven't been on it since then. But it's fun.
So you've done this for 33 years. How much longer do you see yourself doing it?
Well, I have another daughter that came home Christmas time and said that she wanted to go to med school, so it won't be anytime soon. But I enjoy what I do, so this is my exercise. Instead of having a health club membership, I can go and clean a carpet, and sweat and work out with that carpet machine, for a couple hours, and go by the bank and put the money in the bank. And,
there you go.
Got my exercise instead of giving it to. I'm not trying to get it. I'm not trying to, But hey, I use work as exercise, and it's profitable. And like I said, I really enjoy what I do, like doing projects, that you make investments into your floor, because this is not cheap. There's people that can hire cleaning services to do almost what we can do, but it needs the Pro Care touch. And there's no coincidence the name is Pro Care. We call it Professional Care Services. So we like to do it right. And if we don't do it right, I'll come back and do it all over again. You remember that day you kicked my butt in here?
It's bound to happen. So, Steven, tell our audience where they can connect with you if they want to hire y'all services. Where can they find you?
Well, they can always Google us. You Google Janitorial Services. We're number 1 or 2 to pop up. Our phone number is 352-375-2210. Most times, 9 times out of 10, I answer the phone because if I'm not in the office, I have it transferred to my cell phone. That's one of the things that I like to do is when a customer call, I like to give them that first impression of answering the phone, answering their questions. And most times, by the time I'm done talking with them, I've already scheduled the job. I'll do a quote over the phone and give them a hypothetical. Those folks that don't ask you what it's going to cost, then you know that that's a good call. Just come and do it.
Oh, man. We can dive into a whole nother thing. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on our show, man. It was a lot of fun.
And actually, I feel better, man. I don't feel my pain as much.
Yeah, good. That's what we do.
Just got to laugh it out.
Really, I'm telling you.
We're doctors too, man. You didn't know?
Hey, no, I didn't. But it's been great. I thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, man. It was a lot of fun. And, everybody, definitely please leave us a review. Please share this episode with somebody. And this is episode 116, baby.
Crazy, man. Just keep
cranking. Keep cranking. Everybody continue to have a great start to the semester as we get things kind of flowing back here. Here we are in September. And, just keep cranking, Gainesville. We absolutely love you. This is the WHOA GNV podcast, the podcast bringing you businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa.
Whoa. Give us your whoa.
Whoa.
There it is.
We will see you later. Bye.